Hey folks, welcome to Bear Mountain. Well, today we're working on some more propagation, and one of the things that is a really easy thing to propagate are what's called scented geraniums or pelargoniums. I'm pronouncing that right, I'm not sure. Let me take my shades off. I know my future's so bright that I gotta wear shades. Ha ha ha. Okay, no joking. No joking, this is a totally serious video. So anyway, we took some basic cuttings the other day from our Atara rose. We had a surviving Atara rose plant. And we also had a Lady Plymouth, actually a sport of Lady Plymouth, which is a highly variegated scented geranium, but it's really solid green. It's not a bicolor like a normal Lady Plymouth. And we got some cuttings from that, actually quite a few, because that plant was actually pretty robust. So we've got to cut one more, and this is I don't remember the exact varietal name. It's been referred to as autumn chocolate, but I don't think it's exactly that. It's kind of it's a double color, so the center of the leaf it tends to be dark brown, and the outside of the leaf is green. Now the difference between this is it's got a little bit of a stickier foliage to it, where like a Tara rose as an example is kind of fuzzy. This guy tends to be a little bit sticky, but it's got an incredible vase life and a great color scheme. So we're going to take some cuttings of that, and then we're going to head up to the greenhouse and we'll show you, just what we're going to go through to get these guys going. It's so easy to do. I know people say that all the time, so easy, but actually you do get a pretty good high percentage of plants that take. So let's just kind of take some photos of what I'm going to be doing down here with the cuttings, and then we'll take it up to the greenhouse and kind of show you what we're going to do. All right, so when you're looking at this, you go, wow, look at all this dead stuff. What is all this stuff? That's last year's growth. This guy just overwintered. Basically, I kept the tunnel kind of shut down. I never put any any frost protection over the top of it. And what you can kind of see is they have really come out and has sprouted some new growth. And I've got some really great, take some really great cuttings off of this. I'll prune the dead stuff off of this guy and let this plant just grow. But you can kind of see that last year, when you look at it, you go, well, this gets nice, really strong stems. It's got a nice upright growth pattern to it. And you can kind of see as the leaves begin to mature, they develop a dark center vein, and it's got a nice lot of variegation to it. And the leaves have just a little bit of a shine to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take probably about a half a dozen of these guys. And so what I'm going to end up doing is planting my new starts in the tunnel over there with the mums. And these guys should root really actually pretty fast. So how to take the cuttings, what we're going to look for is you want to look for, a center growth. You can kind of see that right there. And we want to cut it down probably about 2 inches or so till we get to the nice, let me get the leaves out of the way, so we want to cut it down somewhere right in there. And we want to take about a half dozen of these guys. Now, the nice thing about these scented geraniums is they're pretty aggressive growers when the season's growing. And so even if I take, I could take a whole bunch off of these guys, 20 or 30, because this is actually a fairly pretty good plant that's germinated back. But I don't need that many, so I'm only going to do about a half dozen of these guys. Because again, most of what we're going to be doing this is for personal consumption. The fragrance on this is, I'd say, kind of a bit of spice. It's a little spicy. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of more, cardamom isn't the right word for it, but it's kind of like that in terms of spice. It's definitely not minty or anything like that, or have any kind of rose scent to it. So the majority, what I'm going for on this one is the visual look. So it will really look good once these guys, get rocking and rolling, and you get them into a bouquet with dahlias or other summer flowers. So let me take the cuttings, and then we'll go up and show you how we're going to get these guys going. Okay, as you can kind of see, we've got, we got nice weeds over here. I'm growing those as a cover crop. Ha ha ha. Anyway, got nice strong stems. be taking these guys up, and you know, it's not necessarily have all these leaves to get them rooted, but it's just kind of coming along for the ride right now. So let's go up and get these guys into some potted mix and get them set up. All right, so here what we have, see if I can get this in focus. As you can notice that there's leaves here, like these were kind of crunchy. These were cut a couple days ago, and I got leaves that are kind of wilty. But the key to it is the center right here. This is what I'm really concerned about. So the stem itself feels like it's pretty well hydrated. So I'm just going to cut off the things that are sapping energy away from the plant. And probably ultimately I'll take this one off too. So what I'm looking at now is I've got this stripped down. I have my growth tip. I'm in good shape. I'm going to recut my end. I just put these in like a glass of water. I'm going to recut them to an angle, and then all I need to do is put it into the medium up to about here and just kind of repeat. Now this one, the leaves are kind of fuzzy. They're kind of a felt look to it. This is a tar of rose, and so this guy is you know, one of the 3 varieties we have. I'm not going to bother labeling these because they're so distinct. I know which one's which. But if you were not sure and you had things that look very close, you definitely want to label your cuttings. So we just put it into the actual container up to about that deep. And you can even get away with a shorter stem. It doesn't have to be this long. I'm just giving it extra because it's got a couple extra nodes, so there'll be more. The roots are going to come out of the nodes mostly. And that's kind of what I'm going for. So we're just going to put it in. I'm going to make a nice hole, and I'm just going to put it into, and then form the dampened soil around it. So then what you see is that. And that is basically all there is to it. From this point forward, we just do them all like that. Cut any of the extra leaves off. If you get down to and you have one big leaf left, you might want to cut the leaf in half. The whole idea is to take away the surface area of it so that the plant can focus its energy on making roots and not trying to keep too much of the leaves alive, because that'll take a lot of energy, and it'll also provide more surface area for moisture to escape the cutting. So that's why it's important to you know, kind of strip it down to the only bare necessity of what you need. You notice I didn't use any rooting hormone in this, and so we don't really need it. So now let me give you another example. This one is the Lady Plymouth. You can see that the leaf is very well variegated, and what you'll notice here is we have multiple stems here. Now if I wanted to, I could make additional cuttings out of those guys, but I'm not going to bother with that because I've got more than enough. And so what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to look at it and say, I need this thing to be about 2 inches long. So I'm going to cut it right about there. And then I'm going to make certain that I take the leaves and the growth nub or little bud in the center of the leaf node out, and do the same thing over here, and then take this extra stem out. And the only leaf I'm going to want left is something like that. You see, very small leaf. We got the growth center, we got individual nodes, and now the whole thing is a perfect size to go into the pot itself. So here we go. We've got, we ended up getting more than I thought of the Attar Rose. I got 9 of these guys, and I've got 9 of the Lady Plymouth, and I can easily get, I'll have to do a few more pots. I got these guys in water, so they'll be a little wilty, but they'll be okay till I can get back to them tomorrow. But basically, I'll get 9 of those too. So, and one of the things to note here is there's got to be a fair amount of perlite in this mix. So what we're trying to do is make sure that it's pretty well drained. It'll hold moisture, but it's not going to become waterlogged. So that's the key to making this work. You don't want this stuff to get waterlogged. And it also too, in some cases, I cut the leaves, like this one, I cut the leaf in half, and we're going to put a humidity dome over this. And if you're in a cooler climate, put it on some bottom heat. about 70 degrees, and it should be fine. We're pretty warm here now, and we will be for sure for the next week. So I'm not going to put any bottom heat on it, and these guys should be fine, and they'll root actually pretty fast. They might get a little wilty over the next day or so, but the key to it is does the center still look okay? Is the stem still got good color? And some of the leaves might end up getting sacrificed. That's okay. Not going to worry too much about those outer leaves, and then they should be fine. So that's it for this week's video. I just wanted to show you that you can propagate these guys just as easily as you can mums. And one of the things I've noticed about scented geraniums is when you're buying them, they can get kind of spendy, and there's all kinds of different flavors of it. Now, these guys that I'm doing are pretty much, I'd say, the more popular types that are out there. But you can find all kinds of things, like our Prince of Orange is one variety that actually has an orange citrusy smell to it. These things are also great for potpourri, so if you're not just using them in cut flowers as a green. The scented leaves are, when you dry them, are great for potpourri. And so they have a variety of different uses. And, once you get a mother plant, so maybe not balk at, paying, $5 or $6 for a mother plant, especially if it looks pretty healthy, because very quickly you can start taking cuttings off these guys and propagate them up. And most of these guys are not in patent, so you don't really have to worry about that issue. And they're easy to do. They're kind of fun. So not super fun, just fun. No. Okay, I got to cut that part out, don't I? Yeah, okay. Anyway, that's it. It's pretty easy, just like the mums. And let me just show you a picture of the mum cuttings that I thought I was going to lose last week. Turns out, they're pulling out of it. So let's go take a look at those before I totally sign off. Okay, so if you look at these guys, these were the ones that I thought last week were not going to make it. This one's still a little wilty, but I still think it's got a shot. And the others in the back, they snapped out of it, so they're growing. And then some of these guys are they're ready for transplant. So these guys are ready for transplant, and they're all rooted pretty good. Now, these were cuttings we did from the ones we just bought from King's Mum. I just took the humidity dome off them here for a little bit. I'll mist them up and put the humidity dome back on. These cuttings were taken on the 24th of April, and today is the 7th of May. So we're getting pretty close to 2 weeks, and these guys are really looking pretty good. I don't see that much wilting on them, and they're in pretty good shape. So that's it. Thanks, folks, for watching, and as always, stay safe out there, and we'll catch you in next week's video. Have a good week, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.